see about the practical known as stethography. The aim of our experiment is to record graphically respiratory movements under various conditions. So material required for this experiment is first stethograph, number 2 recording drum, number 3 Mary's tumbler. So stethograph, it consists of a rubber tubing, and that rubber tubing is having a chain attached, and the rubber tubing is connected to the Mary's tumbler. So Mary's tumbler, it is having a pointer to record the graphical movements. So here in this diagram you can see, so here this instrument is called as the Mary's tumbler. So on this Mary's tumbler, here you can see there is one diaphragm, and to this Mary's tumbler one corrugated rubber tube and a simple rubber tube is attached. So here this corrugated rubber tube, it is called as the stethograph, and here one chain is attached to this stethograph to tie on the chest subject. So here, if you see the principle of this stethograph, or it is also called as the pulse belt. So when it is attached to the chest, due to the expiration, your circumference of the chest it reduces, and in this hollow tube, whatever the air is contained, it is spread away. So when there is a inspiration, then there is an expansion of your chest, and due to that increase in pressure. So this air which is contained into this corrugated rubber tube, so it flows through this simple tube to the Mary's tumbler. And on this Mary's tumbler, there is one diaphragm, and on this diaphragm the pointer is attached. When there is an increase in the pressure of air into this area of the diaphragm, this diaphragm is elevated. So when this diaphragm is elevated, so here this pointer it moves upward due to the increase in the pressure of air. When there is expiration, then this air again it flows into this area and it moves downward. So this is the principle of this pulse belt or the stethograph, right? So now again we need one instrument that is called as the chronograph, or it is called as the recording instrument. So here it is having one drum. On this drum one paper is pasted, and on this paper we have to record the whatever the respiratory movements are there. So here this instrument is called as the chronograph. So you can adjust the speed of drum. So here for this experiment we need the speed of drum is 4:1. So here again number 3 there is the Mary's tumbler. Just we have discussed about this. Now we are coming to the procedure of this experiment. So what is the procedure of this experiment? So you will need a subject. So attach this corrugated rubber tube to the subject chest, and first you have to check whether this Mary's tumbler is functioning properly or not. So just there should be first normal graph should be recorded. So this is called as the normal respiration. So if this is the graph, you can record like this, that it is a normal respiration. So first you have to tie this stethograph to the subject's chest, and confirm that the subject should not face his recording, right? Then you have to connect this stethograph to the Mary's tumbler, and you have to record the normal respirations. Now this is your all experiment setup has been done. Now we have to do the observations. So what are the observations? First, we have to study about what will happen when the subject is asked to do the rapid and forceful respirations. So here, first observation, the first observation of our experiment, ask the subject to do the rapid and forceful breathing for 2 minutes. Next, we will see how the graph is recorded. So here, we are asking the subject to do the normal respiration. So here on the graph, these are the normal forceful respiration for 2 minutes. So your observation will be that is hyperventilation, which is followed by the apnea. So after some time, after 2 minutes, we will see that there is a straight line which is coming here. So this straight line is nothing but it is called as the apnea. Now, after that, again we have to record the normal respirations after that and ask the subject to speak or ask him to give the speech. So what will be the effect of that efforts which he is doing, that is the effect of speech, the graph will be somewhat like this. First observation, one is the rapid forceful breathing, number 2 the speech, and number 3 observation. So here record normal respiration and take recording during the speech. So you will observe that downward stroke inspiration record is straight line, but upstroke, that is expiration, is gradually and it is interrupted by small wave. It is not a straight line. So record the effect of breath holding. Now again, after taking the normal respiration, again you have to ask the subject to hold his breath and you have to record. So your observation will be during breath holding, a straight line will recorded, and after breathing point there is increase in rate and depth of respiration is recorded. So after that breath holding, so we have to do it breath. So due to breath holding there is a straight line, but after breathing point, so it will come somewhat like this. This is your observation of the breath holding. So first test is normal recording. Number 2, rapid forceful breathing. Number 3 is speech. Number 4 is breath holding. Now again we have to study one parameter that is known as the deglutition. Deglutition. So deglutition means, so ask the subject to drink water. So what will happen while this deglutition? So during the deglutition there will be somewhat straight line, and after that again it comes to the normal. So here this is straight line, it is called as the deglutition apnea. Deglutition apnea. Deglutition apnea means there is a cessation of breathing during the deglutition. So means at that time for taking food or anything, so during that condition, so your breath is stopped. So that's why it is called as the deglutition apnea. So again we have to study one more parameter, that is, so what will happen to the respiration during the exercise. or you can say what is the effect of exercise on respiration. And in this condition, you have to ask the subject, after studying all these parameters, ask the subject to exercise for 2 minutes, and immediately you have to record the effect of that exercise. So here I will show you the graph. So during after exercise, there will be a hyperventilation in the respiration, and slowly it will come to normal. Okay? So this is hyperventilation. Right? You can observe that. So there is gradual increase in the respiratory rate and amplitude of respiration. Right? So again we will try to understand into details that first, after forceful breathing without exercise, then we have found that there is a straight line, and in exercise also there is a hyperventilation, but it is not followed by a straight line. Apnea, that is called as the apnea. So again we will discuss into details about these two parameters, and the question arises in your mind that in both process there is hyperventilation, but when you ask the subject to hyperventilate without exercise, your observation is it is followed by apnea. But in exercise also there is hyperventilation, but it is not followed by apnea. So please concentrate on this graph. So it is without exercise, it is followed by apnea. Again, this is for exercise, normal breathing. And ask the subject to take the exercise for 2 minutes, and here it is not followed by apnea. So in examination, this graph will be kept for your final examinations, and in this the question will be given like this: identify the graph and comment on it. Graph A and graph B. So you have to identify these two graphs and you have to comment. Suppose in this graph A, you have found that there is a straight line. So this graph is of hyperventilation. And this is graph of after exercise. So again the question arises in our mind that in this both graph there is a hyperventilation, but here it is followed by apnea and it is not followed by apnea. So I want to ask you one question about that. So when there is increase in partial pressure of O2 and decrease in partial pressure of CO2, what is the effect on respiration? It will inhibit the respiration or it will stimulate the respiration. Again, when there is a decrease in partial pressure of O2 and increase in partial pressure of CO2, what is the effect on respiration? So here in the blood there is an increase in partial pressure of O2 and decrease in partial pressure of CO2. It will stimulate the respiratory center or it will inhibit the respiratory center. Right? So here when there is an increase in partial pressure of O2 in the blood and increase the partial pressure of CO2, so it will stimulate or inhibit the respiratory center. So here when there is a increase in partial pressure of O2 and decrease in partial pressure of CO2, right? So in the blood, you can see in the respiratory center, you know, there are some chemoreceptors are present in the respiratory center, which is located in the medulla oblongata, right? So there are some chemoreceptors which used to sense the concentration of CO2 and concentration of O2 in the blood. So when there is an increase in pressure, partial pressure of O2 and decrease in partial pressure of CO2, so it will inhibit the respiratory center. It will inhibit the respiratory center. So how it inhibits? When there is an increase in O2 in the blood, so our body does not require the extra amount of O2, right? So then when the extra amount of O2 is going to the blood is going to the respiratory center, then it finds that there is an increase in partial pressure of O2. Why you are taking more oxygen when there is no requirement of oxygen? Then it will inform to the respiratory center, please inhibit the respiratory center, right? So here, when there is an increase in partial pressure of O2 and decrease in partial pressure of CO2, it inhibits the respiratory center. But in this case, right, when there is a decrease in partial pressure of O2, then the decreased concentration of O2 in the blood, and when this decreased concentration it goes to the respiratory center, and if you sense that there is a decrease in concentration of O2, please take more O2. So here in this condition, when there is a decrease in partial pressure of O2 and increase in partial pressure of CO2, it will stimulate the respiratory center. Somewhat it also happens in this thing. So here in the voluntary hyperventilation, so there is no exercise, no extra activities. So here there is no requirement of extra amount of O2 for the tissues, right? So but unnecessarily you are hyperventilating and you are taking more amount of O2, then there is an increase in concentration of O2. So here when there is increase in concentration of O2, it goes to the respiratory center. That is observed that there is an increase in partial pressure of O2, right? So here it inhibits the respiratory center. But in case of exercise, after exercise there is a more amount of activities due to the muscles, and there is accumulation of waste products, accumulation of CO2 in the muscles or the tissues, then there is a requirement of large amount of O2. So here in case of the after exercise ventilation, hyperventilation, so it requires more O2, then there is a decrease in partial pressure of O2 and increase in partial pressure of CO2, so it will stimulate the respiratory center. So here these are 2-3 observations of our experiment. So here aim is first to record the respiratory movements. One, what will happen by studying 2-3 parameters. One is the voluntary hyperventilation, one is the after exercise, one is the deglutition, and one is the speech. So we have studied 2-3 parameters. Now I will show you the demonstration of this experiment. So we will go to the research lab and we will study about this demonstration.
कोणचं काळं दाखवू का?